So I was driving over here and I started picking up like downloads, but mainly because, you know, I was kind of questioning if I was doing my job correctly, if I was reading the energy right, if I was, interpreting all of this correctly. And then my spirit team started telling me, yes, you've been doing it since you're a kid, like you know this. Everybody's gonna read everything differently. The same way we read tarots differently is the same way we're all gonna read energy differently, perceive life differently, and everything, right? How we are evolving based on our perception of 0101 of the situations, whether it's our life events, whether it's emotional, physical, mental. We're all evolving, we're all growing, we're all understanding it based on our perception of what is in this matrix. In this point in time, we found each other. In this point in time, when I started stepping into my true self, my true light, my true identity, and not hiding who I was from the world based off of my parents' beliefs, the way that they raised me, the way that they tried to raise me, very appropriate, very educated, very respectful. But then at the same time, I went through all this darkness that molded me in a way where, I know how to defend myself, 0202. I know the darkness and everything, and it molded me the same way it molded a lot of the people who I'm giving my messages to, because we are in the same wave, is what I heard. The reason I'm giving these messages to you guys is because I went through the same things that, oh, I'm hearing a high pitch. Um, I went through a lot of these similar life events, whether we perceived the situations different because either there were different situations that we both went through, but it molded us in the same way, that we perceive life in the same way. So in this point in time, I'm reaching out to those people who are molded the same way that I was through the darkness, that diamond in the rough, all those people who are heading somewhere, who have a clear vision to what they don't want, but that are dedicated to figuring out what they do want. 311. All of us who are doing self discovery, all of us who thought we knew life one way, but turns out we were protecting our own light with that version of who we used to be. But now knowing who we can be and being able to express who we are, it's like a whole different, you know what I mean? And then I started questioning whether I was reaching the right messages and stuff. And I know that a lot of us pick up everything different. The same way we read tarots, the same way we see the signs, because to me, my spirit team could be talking to me through like a lot of the birds, a lot of the animals, a lot of the songs, a lot of visual things, a lot of voices in my head, a lot of like feelings, a lot of emotions. It's just a lot. So I realized why a lot of us also had to be alone, to purge, to not find that love that we give. Because the love that we give is mirrored back to us by the universe, by God, by whomever you believe in. But people try to feed off of who we are and stuff like that. So I don't know. I was going through all of this epiphany. I wanted you guys to kind of like hear it before I went into doing more channeled messages. Because I know that at one point in time, I hid my perspectives, I hid my beliefs, I hid a lot of my connection with uni, my connection to source, God, the universe, like my belief of what a God is, what the universe is, what source is, where we come from, etc., etc. But logical me always kind of stopped me from speaking all of those beliefs because of how they sound out loud, and because I've been surrounded by so much or so many logical people that they kind of dimmed my light into not believing who I am. 555. Who I am and my own perception of the world. But see, while I explored their perception of what the world is, it's darker. 0606. It was darker. It wasn't for me. I didn't fit in where they wanted me to fit in. And I understand, to an extent, because successful people live in logic, but they don't understand that even that logic is manifesting their reality. They're just creating the reality they want for themselves, which then they tend to push that type of reality onto others whose reality they do not understand. And that's where I feel that I had to wake up to and also realize, because I had to go through all these paths, all of these different life events, to be able to give messages to a lot of different people from different backgrounds, from different life situations. And I had to do that. 0707. And I am so thankful that I did and that I learned. Because of me learning, I stopped going through a lot of these situations. I was able to pinpoint where these situations were going to go, so I avoided a lot of these paths. I learned how to handle certain poisonous snakes, making me, like, I guess, ¿cómo se dice? Snake charmer, I guess. But knowing exactly who I am, I could never be put down by anybody's comments or opinions of who I am. And that's exactly what the universe wanted for me. So whenever I was ready, 0808, to be the messenger I was destined to be the worker for God, for the universe, for source, who I was meant to be, just in a different path, in a different light. And it doesn't matter in which one, because we're all different for a reason. Like, every single messenger out there is different for a reason. If you're a messenger, go ahead and write your description, your platform, if it's here, if it's on TikTok, whatever. Write what type of gifts you have. Like, let's all get to know each other. That's the type of community that I've been growing on my TikTok. My lone wolves. I just have a special place in my heart for all of you. My loves, like, you have no idea how much I love you, because I understand you, because I too, 0909, went through the same painful life events, life experiences, or energetic attacks that we've all been through. We are all here as a community, and we all felt alone. We all felt rejected. We all felt outcasted. We all felt like we were wrong. But we were not wrong. We were exactly where the universe wants us to be, strategically placed to spread his love, spread his word, whatever it is, whether it's the universe, gods, your ancestors, spreading their teachings, spreading by example, being that testimony, being that person that had that faith, being that legend, that legacy. the one you came to be. Because in one point in time, I feel like all of the people who have been giving messages to, we're all destined for greatness in one way or another. And we're all birthing amazing stories, humans, creations, businesses. Like, we are all creators of something. That's who my messages are for the creators, for the people who are here to make the change in the universe, in the world, in the frequency around us, in the collective's vibrations. You know, all of the people who are ready for a spiritual revolution, who are not afraid to be themselves anymore, because we've already been through the worst. We've already been rejected by people that we loved, people that we never thought would abandon us, left us out in the ocean, like people who never 1111, who we never thought would, you know, betray us. They did. People who were family turned their backs on us. People who were supposed to care for us didn't. Like, our friends were, you know, stuff like that. Like, it's just endless things that we had to learn in order to stand alone, in order for us to self-discover our own strength, our own potential, our own magic within, our own voice, our own creations. I saw 1144. Everything that we went through was for a fucking reason. And it doesn't matter how much people are going to try to talk bad about your past, about where you've been, about the life choices that you made due to how the world molded you because of certain, you know, addictions, or, you know, the wrong choices that led us to the most valuable lessons, the most valuable destinations, that led us to having the brightest ideas, the best outcome possible. Like, there is a reason why, because all of this collective is what I'm feeling, is like the wave that I am on. And it's gonna sound funny because a lot of people that know me know that I'm not religious, but it does feel a lot like Jesus, his wave. And let me explain why. Before my darker side starts throwing the first stones. So it's because it wasn't about religion. It was never about religion. And you can even, like, all those miracles, all that magic he did, all the teachings he did, he hung out with people who were the lowest of the lows. He hung out with the outcasts. He hung out with prostitutes. He hung out with a lot of people. So he's modern day us, or we're modern day him. But, and I even told myself, like, because I'm speaking so much of my truth, I know there's gonna be people out there who are gonna get triggered, who are gonna start throwing stones, who are gonna start saying, you know, horrible things just like they did, and I'm gonna end up being crucified. And then I thought to myself, fuck it. I'm not gonna pretend to be something I'm not, and I'm gonna keep giving my messages until they don't allow me, and then I'll reincarnate and I'll keep doing it all over again, because I know now, 411, I know who I am. Whether people want to call me a prophet, or people want to call me a medium, where people want to call me a preacher, where people want to call me I don't teach, but, like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Whatever you want to call me, I don't care. Like, I am here to give messages to a very few of you. And I know 444 that the few of you guys that the universe, God, source sent to me, confirmation, is for that reason. Because we are molded the same. Because my messages are like being picked up, especially for those individuals. I'm not meant to be, you know, giving us these messages to like a million people, because a million people do not have our path. And maybe as we are evolving, we're going to meet more people who are we're starting to be on their wave, and who are starting to be motivated and pick up that healing and our frequency and whatever it is. But like, I know that these very few individuals, and if you are watching, you're definitely one of those individuals, because this is not even a message. This is just, I guess, me venting or I don't know, but in a way it's like, I work for them. I am the middleman between the energy that you see every day, but that you don't know how to read yet. I am that. I am just the translator, as you can say. I am the translator to the energies. I am the, ¿cómo se dice locutor? Like the radio man. Like, I am just here to give you these messages. You're putting all the work. You're doing all the healing. You are doing things that nobody thought that you could. Things that would break other people. You did. And you're doing, and you're gonna do. And what I kept hearing on my way over here was, tell them, if they can't put up with the shit that's going on now, and this is why we're allowing it, is so they can see that where they're heading, all those bigger sharks, all those bigger fish that are gonna wanna get triggered or wanna stop you or whatever, those are different. Those are more dangerous. So if they can't handle this, we cannot get them to the next destination, the next stop. And I keep seeing like somebody on a train going from stop to stop, but having to get off if they can't get it together, especially if it's like a work environment, family dynamic, whatever it is. Like, I feel that it's some type of dynamic that's very toxic, that we need to get it right, that we need to get it together. And I don't know, I feel that once we get this together, that huge door is gonna open. Because whomever is watching me, like, I'm picking up that energy of a door opening. And this wasn't even supposed to be a message, but you know, they're starting to give me these visions of this door creaking open, because they see like you're kind of ready, that you're getting ready. And the more that you're investing on yourself, focusing on yourself, your self-awareness, self-love, self-care, in your health, in your own goals, your own ambitions, your future, and manifesting the right future for yourself, and not just going with the flow, but actually learning to navigate the currents of the river. And I keep hearing the Pocahontas song. I can't even sing it, but it's something about the currents of the river, and like, it's the voices are singing it, but I'm not gonna sing that. And it's right before she goes into the river where it has two different streams, and she picks the one that's like this. And I feel that a lot of us pick this hard life because we like exploring, because we know we're that rebellious spirit, because we know that we like that adrenaline. We like, you know, the ups and the downs, but our soul just resonates with learning these things this way, instead of learning all like in a big, wide, peaceful way, which other people do. And then when we look at it, we're like, why can't it be that way? But because our souls just learn better this way. We signed up for this. And even though a lot of us don't like it, at the time we didn't think it would be as bad as it actually was, or we didn't think that we would suffer the way that we did, but we did. And the reason why we put up with it, or if we did know that we knew there was a higher purpose and that would mold us, and that we were the ones that had to go through this pain so nobody else had to. So we could break those generational curses, so we can allow that purge to happen, allow the new timeline to manifest itself after breaking those cycles, after rewiring, after changing something. But yeah, so I just hope that I'm doing my job right and telling you guys and motivating you guys to keep working on yourself, to keep focusing on your inner voice, on who you are on the inside, and really having that connection with yourself. Because having that connection with yourself is having the connection with God, the universe, source, with whomever you believe in, with your ancestors, with, past loved ones. Having that connection with yourself is a one-way line with the divine. So just know that a lot of us were placed on darker spectrums to be able to see in the dark. And that's what I had trouble with at the beginning with wanting to give my messages, because I figured, because of me being in the gray area, a lot of people would not want me to be their messenger and stuff like that. So I just started doing my own thing. But the further along I went, I realized my messages were still going to be the same, and they only got louder. And the only way to get them out of my head was to get them to you guys. Um, but yeah, like a lot of us didn't realize that we are in the gray area, that we do have protectors from the dark and the light, that we are being taken care of by the balance of life, and that we are in the middle. So if you ever come across me and you accepted me as your messenger, like, just know you are in the gray area. You are triggering the light and the dark. Anybody who gets triggered by us, we are doing that job. And I saw 222, but for some reason I didn't even see the 3 when it was 23 until it changed. But yeah, and I keep seeing birds flying over me. But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. That little cute chubby bird with something on its beak. I keep seeing a lot of birds doing nests, so I don't know who might get pregnant here. Whether it's a creation that you guys are doing, or an actual creation in your womb, it's gonna be amazing, and you're gonna have the right support. I really hope that the collective that I am reaching out to, or starting to build this community with here on YouTube and on TikTok, I really hope that when you make it to the top, you remember me and you say, "Oh, that crazy girl with the blue hair told me I was going to be here one day." And all of those happy tears that you are crying, I don't want you to give me a shout out or anything like that. I want you to just thank the universe, thank God, thank your spirit team for allowing me to be the voice for them, and that you've made it. Because I know that you're going to make it. And I know because I hear somebody saying, "I made it. I did this." When you do, just know 24/24, I am so proud of you. Because I know you could. And I know you would. And our past is not going to define that. You are going to do amazing. Let's get it, yo. Stay woke.